Welcome to your online LinkedIn 101 tutorial. The first thing to understand about LinkedIn is the way it works and how it's different from Facebook and other social media platforms that you've probably used. Facebook, if you're trying to find someone, you can search for a name, and that search results list will show you everybody on Facebook that has that name. LinkedIn is a little different. LinkedIn only allows you to see people that you have a first connection to, second connection to, or third connection to, or that you have a group in common with. And what that means is when you actually connect with someone, not only do you see their profile, which is their resume, and we'll go over that part, and they see your profile, but what also happens when you make that connection is you actually then gain connection to everybody else that's their first connections. Those people now appear on your screen with a second connection icon. And so all of their first connections become your second connections, all of their second connections become your third connections, and that's where it stops, and third connections are pretty limited access. So it's really all about your first and second connections. So let's get started here. So understanding how it works and when you connect to people, this is your home tab. It's kind of like your news feed in Facebook. So anybody that you connect to, any companies that you follow, and any groups that you join, whatever they post is going to appear on your news feed. So very quickly, this becomes kind of like a personalized newspaper of all the news about all the companies and the people and the groups that you care about. So the cool thing to understand and to always kind of give a look at on your news feed is this piece up here. Now, very helpful to know where your contacts are working. But especially for college students who are just graduating, you know, if you've connected to a bunch of your classmates, you can now see where they're landing jobs, and you can like that status. You can also comment on something and say congratulations, or you can just skip through. So this is something that's helpful to check out because, hey, if you find a friend that works at a company you'd love to be at, go ahead and comment on it and reach out and see how they like it, and they maybe can give you a foot in the door if there's something else that's available. So this is always great to check. The next piece is the profile, and this is the part that most students will create, and then that's pretty much it. Creating a profile in LinkedIn is not exactly using LinkedIn. So the biggest thing to remember is you need to be amping up your profile, filling it with keywords, definitely filling out the sections, because you want people to be driven to your page, but you have to understand that everything that happens on LinkedIn is done through keyword search. So if you're searching specific keywords and those keywords aren't in your profile, you're not popping up for that person. So the first thing to kind of look at with your profile is obviously you want to have a professional profile picture. You also want to have your headline here. This is prime real estate. So you can put, you know, what your major is, what you're aspiring to be, all that kind of stuff. Don't just put student at University of New Hampshire. We have 15,000 students. You want to stand out a little bit more than that. So you can say something like, you know, marketing, business administration and marketing major at University of New Hampshire, and then dash aspiring market researcher, or whatever you want to do. So it kind of tells people not only where you are now, but what you aspire to be. I am a writer and I blog, so I have my articles that are published here. You can absolutely use LinkedIn as a blog space, and people can follow those, so that's always great. Regardless of whether you're a writing major or not, this is really helpful because this is essentially your online portfolio. So get your ideas out there, let people see that you do have original thoughts and that you can articulate yourself, and this is definitely something to make you stand out from the competition. The summary, this is just a paragraph or two about your not only your work experience, but just what are you passionate about? Why did you choose this field? Why are you heading in this direction? The experience section, definitely add your jobs that you've had and add the bullet points. This is where you can actually copy and paste the sections from your resume in here. The only thing you want to avoid is you don't want to add the actual document of your resume. Two reasons. First, this stuff right here, all of those keyword searches that people are doing, it's going to pull from all this kind of stuff. If you upload an image of your resume, which is what it's going to do, that can't search keywords on an image. So no one can pull your profile from keywords that you have in your resume if it's only uploaded as a document. So copy and paste the sections into the profile of LinkedIn. The second thing is your resume has your address on it. So just for security purposes, there are certain things that LinkedIn keeps private to keep those security measures in place. So you don't want to kind of override those. The other thing that you'll notice is you can add images. You can actually put in photographs to show people, you know, event planning is part of my job. This is the career fair. And I can tell people that, or I can show them that. So it's really helpful if you do have in-field pictures or pictures of you at work. Go ahead and put those in there. As you scroll through, you'll also notice that you have an education section. You can certainly add the courses that you've taken. There might be other additional sections to your profile that you can add that I don't have in here. That's fine. When you're in edit mode, you'll see all of those that are available. Honors and awards, a skills section. This section, some people love it, some people hate it. It's really not for you. It's really for people trying to find you. So you want to populate in here these skills that you have, but these numbers represent people who have clicked on those skills and endorsed you for that skill set. So as you start to use LinkedIn, you'll see when there are little prompts that pop up to you and show you some people you're connected to and say, hey, do you want to endorse this person for this skill set? You don't have to, you can skip through it, but that's what that's for. Organizations you're a part of, publication section. If you've made the paper for anything, you can hyperlink out to those articles, or again, if you've published research, you can definitely use this to kind of drive traffic to those samples of your work. But it's just kind of nice because it's set up all in one place for you. The recommendation section is excellent. This is something that I think students think of kind of after the fact. So if you have a great relationship with a faculty member or a supervisor from an internship or even a supervisor from a summer job, start to ask them if they're on LinkedIn and connect with them and see if they'll leave you the recommendation on your profile. The cool thing about this is that when you get recommendations, they actually, and you'll have to approve them and then they'll go live on your page, they'll actually connect right with the job that the person is recommending you from right on your profile. So when I was a staffing manager at Robert Half, I had 4 people leave recommendations. Here are the first 2, and then there are 2 others. So it's just something that you can go ahead and have attached. And this is helpful because then when an employer gets your resume, if you already have recommendations on your LinkedIn profile, put a line on your resume that says, for immediate recommendations, please see, and then put your LinkedIn URL, which you can absolutely customize. As you'll see here, you can put your first name and last name. Again, that's just something that you'll do in edit mode. So that, for the most part, is your profile. Also, you'll notice I have a premium account here. I'm not going to talk about or show you anything that you can't do with the free version, so don't worry about that. So, moving on. Again, the 3 things you're going to do with LinkedIn, you're going to connect with people, follow companies that you're interested in, and join groups. So let's say that we want to follow a company. Let's look up Timberland. Great local company located right in Stratham. Now it's going to give me a whole bunch of things when I run this search. Over here is your dashboard. This is where you can say, okay, I want to find the company page. I want to find jobs at Timberland. I want to find people that work at Timberland. Let's go to the company page. So you'll see that there's different subsets, but this seems to be their main page. So you come in here, you can get some general information about the company, again, where they're headquartered, the size of the company, whether they're public or private, their website. You can also see if there are jobs posted on LinkedIn. We'll talk about that part in a second. And then you can also follow them up here, which I'm already doing, but you would definitely want to click that because once you follow them, again, all of the news that they post about what's going on with them as a company, it's going to go back to your home page. So the cool thing about this section is right here, how you're connected. If you click See All, this is going to show you everyone that's inside your network that works at Timberland or has worked at Timberland. And you can go ahead and filter through people over here. So if you just want to see your first connections that you have, you can click that, or just your second connections, people that you have in groups that also work at Timberland. But as you scroll through here, this is where you'll start to see those second connections. Now the cool thing about this is, let's say you want to look at this gentleman who's the marketing manager for the Scandinavian subset of Timberland. I think the interesting thing to know about LinkedIn is there are over 360 million people that use LinkedIn across 200 countries. This is translated into more than 26 languages. You're going to have a lot of international presence on here, and that's great. So you'll notice that this person is a second connection of mine. I can come down here in his profile and see exactly who connects me to him. And the cool thing is that you don't necessarily have to ask for an introduction to someone that you don't know. It's very commonplace that you're going to talk to people you don't know. That's what professional networking is all about. So if I wanted to connect to him, I would just click connect, and I would say, how do I know this person? Well, I really don't, but I kind of want to talk to him about business. I want to talk to him about his job. I want to talk to him about his company, whatever it is. So I'm just going to put in my current position, and I'm just going to click this one because it's the most related. You want to avoid these three if you don't know them, because it's going to ask you for their email address, and you probably don't have that. But you just want to make sure you personalize the message. It's got to be 300 characters or less, and it's something that they're going to be able to gain some perspective as to why you're reaching out to them. So remember that this is the connection request, but you can absolutely personalize it. So you could say something like, hi, Bore, I'm just curious to hear a little bit about how you like working for Timberland. I'm a really big fan of some things you've worked on, and I would love to pick your brain for a few minutes. Thank you for your time. Always proofread, make sure you don't have any spelling errors, spell people's names right, be professional. And then once you send that over, if they accept your connection request, you immediately feed off their whole network, meaning everyone they're connected to, their colleagues at Timberland. That's how you're going to grow your network. Also, once you're connected, you can just send messages through your email piece that they give you. And when people come over as friend requests or connection requests, it's going to look like this. So it's not even usually going to tell you what bubble option people chose. So you don't have to be paranoid that they're going to be like, well, I don't really know that person. Again, this is not Facebook. I know that some people have kind of grown up in this stranger danger society where you're told not to talk to people you don't know, but professional networking is all about talking to people you don't know, and you have to kind of step outside your comfort zone a little bit and get used to that, because that's where the connections come from. That's where, you get your foot in the door of the company, or you start to find out a little bit more about your field from someone who's actually working in the job you want to be in. So it's not only acceptable to connect to people you don't know, it's fully expected you're going to do that. Now, when it comes to the groups, you can join up to 50 groups, and you want to make sure that you think of all of your alumni associations, even high school at times will have groups that you can join, but also think of the interest areas that you would like to pursue. So if you want to get into digital marketing, there are tons of groups for digital marketing. And you can search for pretty much anything up here and then just come over to your dashboard, click on groups, and you'll see that there are 132 UNH groups. Now, this one is the official one, and you can see that there are over 12,000 members. Now, you can join as many of these as you want. One of the nice things about groups like this is that you have access to, and this is what it looks like when you're accepted into a group, you have a jobs tab, so it's alums helping alums or alums helping students. You also have a members option, so you can search these groups based on keywords. So basically the search is going to allow you to keyword search any section of anyone's profile that's in the group. So if I wanted to find somebody that had, I have an interest in, working in China, I can go ahead and search for the word China, and then anybody's profile that has that is going to pop up for me. So 206 people have the word China somewhere in their profile. Now, one of my favorite things about LinkedIn is their advanced search, because as helpful as the groups and members search is, this is the piece that allows you to search certain sections of certain people's profiles. So let's say that I'm really interested in working in a museum. Well, let's assume that if somebody is working in a museum, it's called something something museum. So we're going to put the word museum in the company section, and we want people that have either currently worked there or have worked there in the past. So we'll keep that, and let's just search. So I have 295,000 people within my first, second, and third connections and groups that have the word museum in an employer within their profile. Now let's say that I want to find just people who currently work in a museum. That whittles it down to 103,000. Now let's say I want to find UNH alums in the school section in quotations, because there's also Southern New Hampshire University, and I don't want to pull them right now. So we're going to say University of New Hampshire. And it's not lowercase or capitalization specific or sensitive, but it is spelling specific. So it's a sensitive search. So you want to make sure that you spell everything right. So now we're finding 107 UNH alums that currently work at a museum. And this is my list, and it shows me which ones are first connections, so we've already connected, who are some second connections that I'm connected through somebody else to, and they're working in museums. So this person, program manager in special events, Museum of Science in Boston. Like, that's awesome. She's a UNH alum. So if I wanted to reach out to her, I could go in, click connect, and it's actually automatically going to see that we both went to UNH. So the system is going to help you, but this is how you can find people that are working in your dream field. You can also do the same thing. Let's say that you don't really know where you want to work, but you know that you want to be in digital marketing. It's just an easy example. So let's put in digital marketing. I have 224,000 people. Let's narrow it down to currently working in digital marketing. So you get the idea. And the advanced search is really going to help out a lot in finding the right people. If you're interested in just job searching, which I highly recommend connecting with people because that's what LinkedIn is really for. The job section, I always say, is just kind of the frosting on the cake. So this piece, let's say that you search for a job. It's going to pull a whole bunch of stuff, and you want to use the filters here. So 337 marketing jobs. Let's say that you just want to search the greater Boston area, which is where we are. Here at UNH, or considered the greater Boston area. So that whittles it down to 11,000. And then let's come down and say that we only want to find internships. You can go ahead and just look at internships or entry level. So this is something that's going to help you weed out everything that doesn't apply to you, which will curb a lot of the frustration from job hunting. But that's pretty much the gist of it. I think the more you use it, the more easy it's going to get, and the more you'll feel kind of fluent with it. But it's just like the first time you've tried any new social media platform. There's definitely a learning curve. But definitely build up your profile. Make sure that when you do connect with people and they jump onto your profile, they see some good information about you. It's not just blank or kind of skeleton bones. You want to really fill in those jobs. But that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.